Hey, what's up? This is Forrest, Forrest for President, Gump 24, promoting Forrest Gump for President, running across the country like he did while walking, jogging, hiking, etc. And in the vein of getting people involved in politics and getting people engaged in life in general, we have a Backpacking 101 series. This is going to be the last one. It's a nice evening, so I thought I'd make this last video here at the end of March. I am in Fort Clark Springs, which is a really cool old fort area, all sorts of old buildings. 1852, I think, is when it was built, and I can't tell you when it stopped seeing action. But it was the mid 90s when someone bought it, and now they have a community here, RV park, a little affordable motel, and it's in Brackettville, Texas. And I am in their campground, which is a whopping 15 bucks. You can see around me that, oh, I think I'm the only one here, which is cool. But last video to help you get the right foot forward when you're going out the door and starting your backpacking and camping adventures. I'm going to go over the Leave No Trace, 7 principles of Leave No Trace. If you've never heard of Leave No Trace before, it's a framework to reduce your impact when you're out in the woods, whether you're in the wilderness or a campground like this. And it also helps you have a great experience. And it's not set in stone. They continue to look at these guidelines, and um, they evolve over time. But it's a good thing to be aware of and just have on the back of your mind when you're out there, and it will be a way to respect nature and the folks around you. The first principle of Leave No Trace, you'll see some crossover with some of the older videos that we did, is plan ahead and prepare. And if you remember back in our video on how to get water from a source out in the back country and purify it for drinking, I mentioned that you need to know what types of water sources will be on your trip, and that takes a little bit of research. So that's about this first principle, to plan and prepare ahead of time. It's kind of like the scout motto: a scout's always prepared. Or I think it's a old army adage that you expect the best but plan for the worst. So this first principle is relating to things like making sure you have the appropriate things to filter water, making sure you have the appropriate amount of food, making sure you've checked the weather ahead of time, making sure that you've checked the trail conditions, so that when you get out into the wilderness, out into the woods, onto your next adventure, that there's no big surprises, nothing that would require emergency services to come and rescue you. So the first principle is prepare and plan ahead. The second principle of Leave No Trace, the 7 principles, is to hike and camp on durable surfaces, or travel and camp on durable surfaces. That might mean when you're in the Alpine, in the White Mountains in New Hampshire, that you're not camping out where the different type of flora and fauna only grow at that level, and you're destroying some wildlife that doesn't exist anywhere else. But an easy example to show is being in a campground like this and being set up in a spot that's already designed for setting up your tent. When you're on the AT, they say set up on sites that have already been set up. It has to be a certain amount of feet off of the trail, um, and that it's already an established campground. So many trails that you're out, or whether you're coming to campgrounds like this, they'll have established places to camp. There is a concept of stealth camping, and so in that event, when you pick up your tent, there might be a little dry spot around it underneath, but it shouldn't be destroying plants, destroying habitats, uh, things like that. Don't be hanging off the edge of a cliff. Erosion is a thing when you're talking about trails that thousands of people um, use on a regular basis, and so you don't want to be bushwhacking through the woods in a place that prohibits bushwhacking through the woods. So the second principle: travel and camp on durable surfaces. The third principle of leave no trace is dispose of trash properly, and bringing your tin cans or beer cans and then putting them in the campfire is not a way to dispose of your trash properly. My friend Guy the Womble, who carried all sorts of trash off the Appalachian Trail when she did her through hike, would not approve of that. She did not enjoy picking cigarette butts out of the campfire rings because that is not a good place to leave your trash. There's a concept for backpackers: pack out what you pack in, and so other than maybe digging a 6 to 8 inch cat hole and leaving that buried. Everything else, take it out with you. It's not cool when you get to like a shelter or even a trailhead for people to have put all their trash into like one of the single use bottles that they got at the store. I know I get them sometimes too, but try not to. Put all their trash in it and just expect that someone else is going to take it. If there is, a bin there that someone regularly collects, and there's a message on it, or there's trash dumpsters. A lot of times in campground areas, they'll have a latch on them, so it will stop animals. But yeah, pack out what you pack in. Dispose of your trash properly. Principle 3. The fourth principle for leave no trace is, uh, it's leave what you find. And there's a saying: take only photographs, leave only footprints. If you haven't been able to tell by now, I'm kind of like the platitude guy. I like those simple expressions that are related to backpacking. But when you see, the arrowheads in the Native American indigenous people areas along the river, maybe leave those to the archaeologists. On trails, you'll see a lot of, especially like Florida Trail or even on the AT now, the bark falling off with the painted blaze on there. I've grabbed a few, but yeah, leave what you find. Um, don't be taking the precious stones from the mountain or any piece of gold from Schmaug's lair. He will not approve of you taking any pieces of gold from Schmaug's lair, but that is principle number 4: leave what you find. Okay, we're back at our grill because principle number 5 is minimize campfire impact. And this is not a campfire, a place to have campfires, but I did, looking at that principle before, I was surprised where it says don't build fire rings. And one cool thing about growing up in Pennsylvania, Rocksylvania on the AT and hiking on the AT is that you'll come across a lot of established sites. So someone established a site which is already against one of the principles, and then they build a campfire ring. And one thing that, and which is awesome, in my opinion, it looks awesome. But in terms of minimizing your campfire impact, apparently, for these principles, building a campfire ring with stones and then those stones turning black is not a natural occurrence out in uh, nature, and so it's an impact that you're having there. And so there's other ways to build fires, mound fires, and you can look up fires and you can figure that out, or just go to the already established campsites that broke those rules, you know, 30 years ago, whenever it was. But yeah, minimize campfire impact, and then of course, you always have to be very careful when you're in an area like right now. There's sticks all over the ground, but all this like grassy type of, it's like a tinderbox right around me right now here in Texas. And I've been seeing, so preparing ahead, if we go back to the first principle, I've been seeing a lot of warnings in different areas that it's high danger for fire. So right now I'm not just going to like stack up all that wood in the grill and just throw a match at it, throw some lighter fluid, because it's dangerous dry time here in Texas, and they just had those huge wildfires up in the north, in the chimney stack part of Texas, second largest wildfire in U.S. history. So you got to be careful with whenever you're making a fire. You oftentimes won't have enough water, as they mentioned, to be able to put it out. It's not like, unless you're doing car camping, that you're carrying like a 5-gallon um, water tank so that you can pour it over it. And that, for trail maintainers on the AT, for these different sites that they have, they say that's the number one uh, thing, that they come to a site and there's still like embers in a fire ring, and that is definitely not safe. So just got to be cautious about that, and think about that, minimize fire impact. Principle number 6 is respect wildlife. And when we look around us, um, even in this place, I'm sure it used to be a lot wilder than it is now. There's a building that has plumbed water and electricity. There's a road out there, not a busy road, but a road. There's trees that seem like they were probably cut to be able to get these pathways in here. But I mean, look how beautiful it is around me, even with the impact that we have had. So trees are living, plants are living, animals are living. It's good to respect all of those things, just like we're living, hopefully, our best lives, or a meaningful life, a life well lived. And we want others to respect us. So respecting wildlife and nature, um, you can look that one up and see. Yeah, look these principles up and see the detailed explanation on them. I'm just giving you an overview, but we don't want these sorts of things to go away, because when they do go away, it took a long time for them to get here. And when they do go away, it's hard to get them back. That leads us to our last principle of leave no trace, the seventh. And not necessarily the most important, but the seventh. And just like respecting nature, be considerate to others. When it's the morning and you're out backpacking, don't have Bon Jovi playing with no earbuds so that everyone in the state can hear. I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. I'm wanted, wanted, dead or alive. Don't be having your music as much as you like it playing with no earbuds when you're walking down the trail. Often, don't be being a weekend warrior and partying at the campsite, packing, parking a couple miles away and pulling in a cooler and, you know, maybe a beer here and there. I mean, and if you see me, toss me a cold one, but no, it it's just like everything else in life. Um, you want to treat others how you want to be treated, and there's certain things when you're coming into a camp at night or you're walking over to the bathroom. A red light on your headlamp is better than a white light, but any light that's getting shined into a tent is not a good thing to do at night. So just think about these things, all the principles. Uh, Look up Leave No Trace, the seven principles of Leave No Trace, so that you can read a little bit more about them and you'll be ready to get out there. I hope that these videos are encouraging. I mean, look how much fun I'm having. It's more fun sometimes when you have other people. Someone rode up to the RV area that's on the southern tier. Yesterday, I met a dude named Everett and Elijah. I thought Elijah said his name was Legend because they were doing the southern tier, so I gave him the trail name Legend. It's fun to talk to other people. It's fun to be out here, with other people, but get out there. Um, you know, the grass is greener when you're out in it. The air does taste better when you're out breathing it. And there is something out there for everyone. So reconnect to nature, get involved, with shaping the way that the world is working so that we can create a place that, you know, you can be proud that you live in. And that's what it's all about. At least that's what we think here at Gump 24 Forest for President, and we hope to see you out there.